welcome to the newest installment of the Untitled Film Nerd Project. My name is Philip, and joining me as always is Teacher.
Hello.
And today we're going to talk about The CLOVEHITCH Killer. Before we get into it, spoiler warning now! If you want to avoid spoilers, skip ahead to the time code you see on the screen. Alright, so let's get into it.
And what did you think?
I'm torn on this one. I'm a little torn on this one. I didn't think it was bad, but the pace and script and tone were just so lifeless and boring.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, though, it wasn't horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So that's brief overview. That's kind of what I feel about it. What about you?
Probably the same. Although my dislike for it is probably higher. Just because it was just so dreadfully slow.
Right. I found something I liked, and that's why I don't absolutely hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I can talk about now.
Mm-hmm. Do tell.
So some things that I liked. The acting was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The movie lived and died by the acting, and everyone delivered. The chemistry between the two teenage leads was strong, and it felt organic. Dylan McDermott played a fantastic sociopath, and the way he was written to be so quick to flip the point of view of the situation was so well done.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of scenes / moments I really liked that I think stood out were, normally I don't like let's go back in the story and show you what really happened. Here it worked really well, because I liked when Tyler walked in on his dad in the middle of killing the woman.
Mm-hmm.
I like how he found out they were following him, the reveal about Cassie's mom. And my absolute favorite moment, was when the dad pulled the trigger on his son.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Plummer nailed the reaction.
Yep.
And sold the entire moment in gold. I'm going to go on record as saying I think he carried this movie.
Yes. Yeah, I would definitely go with that.
And not to say that Madison Beatty or Dylan McDermott didn't pull their weight, but this was Charlie's story. And again, I'm not trying to diminish the rest of the cast, because everyone acted their asses off. I also liked that after the dad burned his quote-unquote trophies, he had to make new ones. And that's why he started killing again, or rather getting the itch to. And he was becoming obsessed. Like he couldn't have sex with his wife. It was starting to consume him. That was one thing where being subtle with the plot really worked. My favorite line in the movie is when Cassie told Billy, "Why don't you just come out of the closet already?" I was like, oh... Like, what's the worst thing you can say to a Christian zealot who uses their faith as a weapon to judge others?
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn. Whoo. Yeah, cut deep. She cut deep. And I did like the last 10 minutes or so, with one caveat that I'll go over on the negative side of things. So, was there anything you liked about this?
Yeah, I mean, there still were things that I liked, and you very much nailed every single one.
Okay.
I definitely liked it when the point of view or whatever, the narrative switched.
Mm-hmm.
It almost felt like it was a second half of a movie being directed by somebody else.
I can see that, yeah.
And this half, I liked.
Mm-hmm. Same, yeah.
And as you said, Charlie Plummer, he did absolutely carry. His reactions to everything, you were able to empathize.
Mm-hmm.
With everything going on through.
Oh yeah.
And even touching upon also what you were talking about with the dad trying to bring back the thrill or whatever from the kills.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a nice touch showing us that scene of him photographing himself in order to try to reenact the kills.
Right, yeah.
And it just wasn't working for him.
Right, yep.
And yeah, I did absolutely like the finale of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Bravo to the kids for having the strength to go through it all.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because, I mean, they've already destroyed the evidence. It wouldn't do any sense. It wouldn't do any good for the family to reveal the truth of it all.
Right. Yeah.
But he still had to pay.
Yes.
And the ending at least was very satisfying.
Mm-hmm. I agree completely.
So... But on to what you didn't like.
All right, so what I thought could have been better. Pretty much everything but the acting.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem I have is this is textbook cookie-cutter storytelling. There was no real suspense. It just coasted on its premise. And with movies like these, you really can't do that. And it felt like they knew that, so they relied on the strengths of the actors to pull the weight. Of which, as said, they did a great job. But the first half drags so bad. And the movie doesn't have any bite up until 45, 50 minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
And this is almost a 2-hour movie. Like, once they find the drawings of the creepy diagram of torture, it started to have a little bit of pulse. It never really went into second gear. In fact, it felt like a car that was idling for 2 hours and had little baby revs of the engine every 15 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
But that petered out as quickly as they started.
Yes.
I mean, the first half I was on my phone playing Marvel Puzzle Quest. And even messaged you at one point saying, I don't know if I can get through this. But all the reviews I looked up said it picked up in the second half, so I stuck with it. But the story is boring. The pacing is boring. This movie did not need to be 2 hours long.
No.
This just felt like copy and paste in the safest, most predictable way possible. And with movies like this, the ones that stand out do something different with the whole, oh no's, blank might be a serial killer. For instance, Summer of '84.
Yep.
Nailed the concept. That's how you do it. And this is one that I don't know what they could have done differently other than to make it shorter. It kind of felt like a made-for-TV movie, like a Lifetime movie with a little bit of edge to it, but only a little bit. And even then, it was just a tedious chore to get through. The actors brought their A-games, and the acting made this movie watchable, but great acting cannot save a mundane, muted script.
Mm-hmm.
The one caveat I had about the end, I didn't want them to show what happened to the dad. I liked it being esoteric. I agree with you. I liked that they killed him. When I saw the missing poster, I was like, yes. Awesome. But I like the idea of not knowing. We didn't need to see it. Like, we did not need to see that. I think the movie would have ended stronger if we were left in the dark about the fate of the Clovehitch killer. Like, we know they killed him. Showing us does nothing to save the film. And I think it would have been more powerful had they not. Kind of like how they never came out and said that it was the dad that permanently disabled his brother.
Yep.
We can deduce that the brother found out and the dad took care of it, but not knowing made the situation more palatable.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my thoughts. What about you?
Very much gonna once again mirror most of that. It was like the film was relying too much on the true to life storytelling, and with that came the mundane boringness of true to life.
Right.
It very much felt like church.
Yeah.
Just sitting through it and just waiting for it to be over.
On your phone.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm definitely going to mirror what you said, that it was completely unnecessary to show how he died. Because they really went out of their way to point out that he died.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessary. And also to touch upon what you said about Summer of '84, because I was thinking about Summer of '84 the entire time I was watching this movie.
Yeah, me too.
That movie created dread all the way throughout.
Yes, it did. Yes.
This movie, although it may be dreadfully boring and slow, did not create dread.
No, not at all. Even Disturbia had more dread.
Yes. So yeah, that would be my biggest complaint of all. But yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, all that being said, would you recommend it?
Nope.
All right.
And you?
Yes, but with an asterisk. If you like serial killer movies, or movies that people find out who the killer is and then X, Y, and Z happens, then check it out. But be warned, this is a slow burn that never really catches fire and sits like an ember dying a slow, dreary death. Period. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that about covers it.
All right. I don't think we are really... This movie was so boring. I don't... Like, it might sound like we're saying it and we're saying why, but I usually don't get so bored I can't finish something.
I went through 3 social media platforms.
So there you go. Yeah, see, there you go. and I was playing Marvel Puzzle Quest, so yeah. Check it out, but with a huge star beside it. This isn't for everyone, but I know a lot of people from reading reviews that loved it, so
yes,
maybe it's just us.
Yes.
All right, well, that wraps up this episode. Thank you for listening. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends or cool people who might dig the Vizcast. And please subscribe to the channel, including hitting that notification bell to stay up to date on the newest content. And there is a link in the description below for the Patreon that covers all of the creative endeavors, so please consider showing your support. And until next time, my name is Philip.
And I'm TJ.
And we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Bye.